Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time of day it is. I'm glad you're here. So, I'm going to do a fun little video today, or at least I think it's fun. Hopefully you guys will like it too. I'm going to show how I make something that I tuck into most of my journals as a little kind of fun thing, a little kind of notebook. So I have a couple of examples to show you. So these were made with a sewing machine. Of course, we're not going to do that. So it's basically like a little notebook. So you could add whatever kind of things you have. So I have some examples of some stuff that I will be showing you guys on how to make some different kind of slight variations on these. So here's one. Okay. And they're pretty simple. I tend to decorate both sides since I use them to wrap around the pages in my journal. So they kind of are the journals that I make. So I put them around the page and then I use a paper clip, but you could tuck them into pockets and things like that too. So there's one example. And then I have another one in this fun kind of woodland mushroom journal that I have here. So this is what it would look like in the page when you turn the page. So they can be really decorative. You can add little pockets onto them, like this one has a pocket here as well. And then I had a cute little mushroomy book page that I tucked in there. So the book itself, same thing, has some various scraps of paper. I like to try and put a little bit of more plain paper in these, or at least a couple of pages of plain, so for writing space. So let's get to it so you can kind of see how I make these fun friends. Generally, when I make these, and I wish I had my bin to show you, but it is still in a box because we're still in the process of getting settled with from moving. So at least I had a couple of examples that I could show you of finished ones. So, and both of those journals that I showed are also available for sale. Just shoot me a message or send me an email if you're interested in either one of those journals. Anyway, here's what you need. Paper. Basically, you need paper, some glue. You could use a sewing machine. My sewing machine's not out, so I'm going to show you a no-sew version. And that's about it. So you need something for the cover. So I had a couple that were in process, that I was in the process of doing. So here's what I have. So this is one way to use up some of those really pretty, big, glossy images that you might have that you're not quite sure what to do about. But when you fold them, of course, now we're just looking at fun color, stuff like that. You can put them upside down, do whatever you want. So here's another type of cone flower. I think this was from like a wild flower gardening book. They're just gorgeous kind of images. So you need something that you want to do for the cover, a base for your cover. Same thing here. And then you need an inside bit. So I have a couple of examples of outsides. I'm going to show you a couple more that I pulled. So I had this fun little pamphlet, and this is about the size that I really like to use with these, because I think it's kind of a great smaller size. You can make them bigger, you can make them smaller. So it's kind of up to you what you want to do. So just to give you an idea, these are about 9 inches wide and 6 inches tall. So in case you hear some interesting sounds, I am recording in my new house now, and my room that I get to have for my studio space is right off of the living room. And so you might hear a little dude every once in a while making some exclamations. So this was just a leftover pamphlet from a little sewing kit. That was actually one of my son's. So I'm going to turn it into the booklet. You can see it's about the same size as this little friend here. So that was another one that I wanted to show you how you could use some other things that you have on hand. I really like to use up some of my weirder book pages for some of these too. So here's another one. This one's a little bit bigger. This one right now is 9.5 by 6. But when it gets to be that size, it'll still fit in a regular standard size journal that you have, or to tuck into a pocket, or just put in some fun junk mail, things like that. So you need a base for your cover, a little cover. So got some of those. Then a lining. So a lining page, and the perfect thing that I usually find for these are book pages. So slightly smaller book pages to just kind of reinforce it and also add some interesting texture. Or if there's some kind of image that you want to cover up a little bit, great time to use that too. So there's one that I pulled. I had another one ready to go over here. Where did it go? Where did it go? Because I pulled some of the little scraps and things. I have this leftover bit, which could also be perfect for an inside thing. So this is just a random piece of book page that had, I was painting some DNA things to put into an art piece that I was working on. So I needed them to be darker. So that's another example. So a book page, because they're the right size most of the time and they work great for these. So sometimes I'll just pull my little book guts, piles of book guts, and that's what's going to go into some of these friends too. So you can see it's the perfect size. So there's two. And then coloring book. So I had this rose mauling coloring book, and that's where these pages are from, because it's a little bit more plain, a little bit more kind of subdued to kind of do that. So when they're big like this is where you could sew around the outside edge or just glue them really well before you get ready to put your couple of pages in. And now I just remembered what I forgot. So I'll have to, like, when I get to that point, we'll have to take a little pause so I can find my stapler. Or we could stitch them in too. That's another option. Stitch our pages in, because we only have 3 pages, so they're not really big. That's why I like just zip them through the sewing machine when I have it set up. So we have, let's see. I just want to show a couple options. So what will look good? I don't know if the DNA will look good with either of those. So we have that one done. We might just use that one as one of our examples. But I want to use one of these friends too, because there's another step that I like to do with these a lot. So let's set this friend off to the side for now. And then I have some book page. So we're going to use not this friend. So I get that out of the way. So we need, okay, Master of Mischief Makers, I feel like might work well for a little raccoon. So we're going to put this in here. So that'll be for that one. And this is kind of, I do these in kind of an interesting, like, order. So I'll make a bunch of, find a lot of, something I want to do for the covers, and then I will go ahead and find a bunch of inside. So I'll grab a couple of books, and that's normally what I do. And this is a brand new book that I just got recently. A lot of my books are packed, so luckily I've had some friends gift me a few things. So I at least have some options. I'll set this friend off to the side for now. I like dictionary, I like flower books, stuff like that. Maybe something that just has some interesting text. So that could look fun on there too, because we're going to do one more step. So that'll be cool. So let's find something a little bit different for, well, we could just use this one too. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. All right, so we have our insides, we have our outsides. So next step, a little bit of stenciling. So with this one, what do we have? We have this big purple flower. And then I think I'm going to use some other things. So let's set the middles off to the side, because we're going to do the next step. We don't need this friend right now, so we'll put those there. So I'm still getting used to my new space. So that is kind of a fun challenge for just everything, because I don't know where all of the things are that I'm used to having. So it's kind of a fun challenge because I have to think outside the box a little bit. So let's look at our colors. I forgot to do that. This is, okay, so this we can do anything. So let's do a warmer color. We'll make this kind of vintage looking. So I'm going to use ground espresso on this one. So this is the step that I think makes a big difference. So I'm just going to use some Distress Oxide, and we are going to ink just a little bit around the edges. Now at this point, you could do it. You don't have to do it. You could leave it plain. You don't have to put a little lining in them. It's really up to you and how you want to decorate it, what it's going to go for. You can really go all out with your themes and stuff too. So this is just another like ephemera piece that you can add to your junk journals, or gives a little gift or something like that too. And depending on what you want to do, you could even make these into like a little mini journal if you use a little bit of heavier paper, things like that. There's different options. I don't know if I'm getting, this is dark enough. We will find out very shortly. Let's see. Perfect. Love it. Okay, so that's that. So we have that one done. Check. Because then our inside is going to go around there. So next we have our little raccoon friend. What do we want to do? Let's do a brighter color. Let's do a bright green, because I think that'll be fun. Like I said, there might be a little bit of, I have a 5-year-old, so he's making some noise in the living room a little bit. So I don't know if it'll pick up. This is the first time that I've recorded with him being just in the other room. So we will see what happens. How about Rustic Wilderness? Let's do that one. We're going to use that, and let's do these bigger flowers. Now it's not going to show up a ton because we're just kind of adding some texture to the outside and layering some other things. I think these are really cute. I love making these. They're one of my favorite little go-tos that I try and add to all of my journals. And so what I do is I kind of do it assembly line style. So I'll have a stack of papers, and then I just have a stencil ready to go. I'll even sometimes tape my stencil in a couple of spots to my tabletop. Or see, that's cute. Just a little hint of something different around the edge. Now we got one left. So this is our floral one in purple. We can go ahead, you know what, I'm going to use that green again because I really like it. And I have a different flower that I want to use. I'm going to use this flower one. Although the numbers would look cool on this too, but we're going to do flowers. We'll make this more of a flowery journal. Journal little booklet. But when I do them, I think the last time I made them, I did 70. I made 70 of them because, like I said, I use them in all of my journals that I sell and I make and gift and things like that. So I'll make up bases. So I'll make a variety of colors. I'll find a couple of books that have some interesting kind of background on them, depending on how I want to decorate them. So I'll make up a bunch of bases, or what I call bases, so I can add finishing decorations to match my journals as I go. Okay, so that is done there. So as you can see, boom. A little hint of something on the outside just makes it, I think. All right, so next step, we are going to go ahead and glue our inside cover. Now this is where you can really decide what you want to do. Would you have to? No, you don't have to. You don't have to at all. You just kind of got to do whatever you feel like. Now, and this, you could stencil this separately, but I like to have them plain, or maybe I'll do a different color and just highlight the edges. On this one, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to leave it as is, I think. Yeah. And we're going to glue it down. Okay, so I'm just going to really glue this well, right all the way to the edge. Now, if you are going to sew it, and generally what I do is I just put a little bit on either side. You could still glue it down really well. But I find that you don't really need all of that if you're sewing. So I'll just kind of make it so it sticks pretty well. And then we go from there. I probably should have been gluing that on something else. It's fine. Now we're going to put this here. And I try and center it as best I can. If it's not perfect, that's fine. And then give it a really good smoosh. Do I have my smoosher thing? I do not. So what do I have? I have the edge of this. There we go. See, you just got to use what you got sometimes. I just wanted something really nice and flat to get that adhered really well. And then this one is about ready to go here. So next one, we're going to do our little raccoon. And we're going to put this one in the inside of here. And I like torn edges, I like whatever, so it kind of really depends on what you want to do. Older books are fun for this. Maybe something that wouldn't be sturdy enough on its own could be a good thing for lining the inside of these since you're gluing it or sewing. Another option. The glue I'm using is Scotch Permanent Glue Stick. They also have another, sometimes it's called Scotch Create, but I can't always find that for some reason. So there we go. So then that's in there. You know what? I'm going to do something. I don't want his little face to be hidden. So there. That's cute. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's cute. Okay. Garbage. All right. So that's that one, and then our third. Oh, I was gonna use the Mischief Makers in there because I thought it was appropriate for that. Oh well, we've made decisions, and this one is looking more antique-y anyway, so that's fine. Okay, so let's go this side like this, I think. Yes. Not sure what originally I did with, like, I trimmed down the edges of this for use in something. So I'm not quite sure what that something was because that's not the original straight edges. I used a decal ruler to tear this one to have it have those edges the way that it is. If they have lined, like, or not lined, if there's like text on them, that's one way that you can use to help like line things up a little bit too. Where's that thing I used? There it is. And I didn't do this. Let's do it, friend. Okay, just giving it a good smoosh. All right, so next up, we need some little pages for our little books. And so I've got 4 of these. So let's look. I grabbed a stack, and I'm just gonna go with color-wise what's gonna look good. And we have this green. And this is just some leftover packaging paper, but it's great to write on and stuff and has a fun texture. We'll put those with those too, because I love that. And I like to have a variation in size of things. You are looking a more antique-y, so let's go ahead. Antique-y, is that a word? Good job, Nance. I have this museum page with the flower on it. That's kind of big. Let's go with something a little smaller. These antique flowers, I like that with that. We have some lined stuff. So some lined paper that could go nice with that, and then I want one more there. This fun friend we can trim down. That might look okay in there, so we'll trim that one down to size. Let's see, what else did I pull that'll work well? Here's a pink. We'll do a pink with this one. What color was our flower? Yellow. Okay, very different than I anticipated. What color was this one? Purple. Okay, that's fine. Pink can go there. What else? Well, yellow. Will this brick wall one go with that? Not so much. Let's put it with our fun little raccoon friend. Why not? We might have to trim that down just a little bit. So we'll put that with that. And some black and white piece here. Guess I should have grabbed a couple bigger pieces. So I have two, 2. Everybody has 2. We need some third pieces here. Third pieces. What is this? I like that. Let's use this friend there. And let's do, we have these purple, was this one purple? It is. Okay, let's do this polka dot one in there. Just polka dots. And then I feel like this one needs something more fun. And so does this. Okay, you can go there. And then I have a kitty there. Let's do that. That works. Let's do it. Okay, really quick. Moving on, moving along. Let's get them folded roughly, and then we'll figure out how we want to put them into each little book. Okay, 1. And then you are far too big. So, do I have a ruler handy? I don't. Let me grab one. Okay, here we go. So, this is a decal edge ruler, so that's what we're going to use to kind of bring these down to the right size a little bit. I don't need much off. So I'm just going to do this. Okay, so that is going to fit now that way. And then we're going to go ahead and tear this friend here. And then they will fit as well. Okay, so that is that page. So then just fold them up. And stick them together. You need to fold this friend as well, although it kind of had a fold line as well. Give it a good crease. And then, how big are you? Oh, just, could we fold it kitty corner and be fun? Let's do it. Let's do it. Sometimes it is more fun to just kind of be different. Be different. And then what we'll do is we'll trim off those edges. I like that. That's fun. That is fun. It is fun. All right, so let's kind of do it roughly. Man, I have this grid. I might as well use it, right? Line this up and then on its center-ish. I'm gonna do the center of this circle, not the center of the paper. So it might be a little wonkadoo, but that's all right. And I think right here is gonna be pretty good. Line it up straight. Nance, you can do this. Straight there. I think I wobbled, but that's fine. And then about there. Roughly. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, this friend. So this is where layering them in different ways will give you a different look. So I thought colored looks better in between that, and that looks fun that way. We have our green peeking out, and that is fun. Okay, so that one's ready to go. Set you there. Next friend. We are gonna have to do this here. So you could just make sure everything is straight beforehand, or just use straight paper, whatever you want to do. I'm using scraps. I'm using stuff out of my scrap bin because I need to use my scraps. They're there. And this is fun. Why not, right? That's good. And now this one. That was my coffee cup. This one is just a little bit too big. But I wonder, is this a square? 6. by 6 it is. You know what? I'm going to do the diagonal fold on this one too. Or we could do it even wonky. We can do it wonky. Let's do it. Do a wonky fold. I like wonky folds. Wonky folds are fun. We are going to have to tear it down, but that's okay. So we got that. Fold this friend. Just kind of have fun and create and play and do whatever. Use them scraps. Packaging is fun. This is two-sided, so that's fun. This is where it would be nice to have a bone folder. Don't have one. I'll probably use something else to get good creases. And fold this friend. The covers I try and make a little bit, like I try to be more careful about, but you know. So I don't fold, or do I fold? I'm trying to think of when I do my assembly line of everything, like how I do it. It's what you can use if you don't have a bone folder. Use the back of your scissors. Works good. All right, so there's our pretty cover. Now let's see, what order do we want to put them in? No, that gets lost. Let's do, yeah, polka dots is fun. I like the differentiation. Then we'll do the green. And then we'll do this one. That's nice. Okay. That sticks out. You could leave it if you wanted to. You could have it so they stick out all over the place, but I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna give it a tear here. Probably not straight. I wiggled it a bunch. But it won't stick up. That's fine. I must have something sticky on my ruler. Okay. Zoop. And a zoop. Okay. Number 2. Now number 3. This shouldn't have to really do much with this. These we don't need to tear down, I don't think. They should be the right size. Leftover pamphlets. Now, I think I want this to stick out right away. So I want the flowers on the outside. Also scraps. This is just some scrapbooking paper that I had. So pretty. Kind of that vintage look. And then this friend is already ready to go. So we're going to go make sure this folds. So this, okay. So this, so we're gonna go flowers, and then we're gonna go, and let's stagger it. Let's go flowers down like that. Lined paper up here, I think. And then this one here. Too long. We'll fix that. That is not a problem. Bring this here. Perfect. I like the different edges. You could ink each one a little bit if you wanted to, but that's where that is. So next thing, we're going to get these all put together really quick, and then we can decorate them. I know I've got one left, but I think 3 is probably pretty good. You know what? Let's just zip through that last one. Maybe I'll fast forward as I do this. So next up, I'm going to staple. So this is just a little board that I had. It's stiffer on this side, but it works great because this is a foamy side to do staples, because if you don't have a long arm stapler, you can't really get into where you want to get. So this is what I do. I open this up, make sure everything is lined up nicely, and I try to line up my staples right on. There we go. Wow, that should have been not a fight, but here we are. Okay, so I'm gonna try and catch as many of the pieces of paper as I can. I'm gonna put 3 staples in. So I'm lining it up close to the crease or just behind. So either the staple will be right on that middle or just to the back. So I have my line, I line up my stapler, staple straight down. And then I just do my best to try and make them even. And then that's where we have our staples, right? Now, I pull them up. Staples are sticking up, so staples are all dangerous staples. Now, this is where I flip this over, and then I have a tool that is not here. Oh, biscuits, that's fine. I have pliers. I have an old beat up pliers here. Normally what I do is I just use like a screwdriver, or like I have this really flat tool that works perfect for it, but clearly not here right now. So I bend over my staples so they're flat and then they won't catch on anything. Now you could do it opposite so that the staples are the sharp edges on the inside. There's lots of different ways that you can do it. We'll do the next one on the outside going in, because sometimes they do catch, which is another reason why I like to use the sewing machine on these, because then I don't have to worry about potentially sharp edges sticking up. Let's see, maybe my scissors will work better today. There we go. Okay, so that one is finished. And since I put it on that just outside of that crease, it works really well to get this to lay pretty darn flat. That's the other thing why I like about the sewing machine, is you can zip that on there really, really quickly and easily too. All right, so let's do the next one. Let's do this one on the outside, poking inside. Make sure everything is lined up. And we're gonna do the same thing. But this time, I'm gonna do it right on the spine, going inward, because I have a nice line to line up with, although sometimes it's hard to get them to line up properly with your stapler. So, right on the line, right on the line, and then mostly centered, right on the line. Okay, so then the same thing. I lift, and then I'm going to, the reason I don't like using my finger, and why you probably shouldn't, is that you can get them under your fingernail. I haven't done that for a very long time, but I did do it when I was a child. So I have this like scary thing about things going underneath my fingernails. Sorry if that's TMI, but it does make me nervous. And it wasn't even a staple that I got underneath my fingernail. It was a brad, like one of the big brads with the big long things. I don't know what I was opening something or closing something. I don't know what I was doing. I was a kid. It was a long time ago. All right, same. We're doing it with this side. We are gonna do it on the outside here. Quick staples. So I'll probably staple the rest of these. Fast forward. Okay, so now we have 4 little booklets ready to go. Let's just decorate 1, maybe 2 really quick. We'll see how much time I've got left to work on these. So normally, because I do assembly line style, I'll do like a bunch of similar things on them, but these are all very different. So we have this really fun friend, and then these kind of more floral ones, and then this one that is kind of more of an antique vibe. So I'm going to do something a little bit more fun on this one. Oh, you know what I have though, which could be really cool? I have these pages from my little daily calendar. So maybe there's one of these friends that'll look really cute on one of these. Maybe not. They're a little busy. They're a little busy for these big things. All right, let's see what we got. I've got some stamps. Okay, that's kind of fun. So maybe we'll just lay them out and see what we got. This is a really pretty stamp. Do a fun stamp. Some contrast. This actually, this whole envelope could be kind of cool. Make it a pocket or something. Nah, we'll save that for something else. Something. So now is the fun part, trying to figure out what I want to add, what I've got handy. Because normally my go-to stuff is not here, so I have to make fun. Okay, so this says enjoy. I like, oh, that's cute. Okay, so basically I'm just making kind of like a little clustery thing on these. That's cute. And I usually like to do like at least 3 elements. I've got some circles. I've got some other little flowery bits. Okay, this is kind of fun. This little flower guy, because I don't want to take too much away from this. So maybe we'll just do something a little bit like that. Just a fun cluster in the corner. And that one is challenging me a little bit. So what are we going to do? I've got another couple of torn. Could do like that. Oh, I have this like other vintage piece of paper. Can I just pull the stamp off? No. Negative. Not being helpful. Oh, here's a cute leaf. Here's a leaf. Oh, with ants on it. Okay. I clearly need to up my little, I have a huge box of stamps, so I just grab some and throw them in this. I need some more variety, I think, in there. They all kind of seem similar at the moment. Okay, I've got some pieces of book page, little scrappy pieces of book page. Maybe we'll tuck a little of that there. And what else do I have? Oh, I have this like little frame. Okay, that's cute. We'll just do like a frame and like that. That could be fun. I dig it. What else? What else do we have? Because we actually have the other side, which we could decorate as well. I have this kind of thing. That's cute. Let's do that. Let's do that. This is cute. This we could put on whatever. It's a little big. It's a little big. Another flower, some die cuts. I have this little orange, yellow. Hey. What's this? That's a bit much. A bit much. Tis. Oh, hey. How about an 8? That's really weird. I don't hate it, though. That's kind of fun. Let's do, yeah. And we'll ink it a little. That's kind of interesting. A little different vibe. Need a little something else here with this little friendo. This little friendo, how about a mushroom or something? Oh, that's cute. Let's do that and that and that. Okay, he's done there. This, let's just start getting a few things on here. And then these will relax, and then I store them all together with their stuff. So they, like when I have a stack of these, or you could set a heavy book on these for just a little bit and it'll make a big difference. So now is when you can like go all out with decorating and doing whatever you want with your stuff. So let's do this here. I can ink some more. I think I will get out the Rustic Wilderness and do a little inking. I don't know where my things I need are at this very second. And so we're just gonna do it this way. Green might not have been the best option now that I think about it, but it's fine. And here we are. We're gonna put this like so. I don't wanna really cover that mushroom though, because that mushroom's cute. So we'll just put this little friend here. Like that. If you use really thin stuff, you don't have to worry about it bulking out your journal. If you don't care, then don't worry about it. I'm putting glue just on the center of this friend and then putting it right here. Hopefully that will work. Otherwise, we'll have to use some different glue. This glue usually works pretty good on these kind of plasticky things. I just need to make it flat. The brad that's through that flower is kind of making it stick up a little. Okay, so we're gonna let that sit and dry a minute. Move on to our next friend. This one. I think I might swap this sticker or stamp out for something else. I do like this and this. That's definitely the way that goes. Let's go ahead. I'm just gonna get this on before I change my mind or do something weird. I mean, I'm always doing something weird, so that's not really anything different. This is the front. This is the front. Doesn't matter. Yes, that's definitely the front. So I'm gonna kind of go up and off to the center a little bit. So then if you just kind of put stuff in like this and just add a little bit, somebody else could come along and add. Whoever gets it or you give it to, they could add their own fun things in the inside here too. So I have some stickers handy. What if we did that? That's kind of fun. Or do we want the brighter blue ones? There's some other butterflies. Okay, that's almost perfect to frame that. Let's do it. Let's do it. I can get the backing off. Well, it lives there now. It's not perfectly straight. Now let's ink this friend a little bit because I want it to stand out a little bit, but not a lot. What do we want to use? Let's use a different shade of yellow. Let's use mustard seed. See how that works on this gray. I like that. It's kind of simple, but fun. This is just a piece of chipboard I had in my little tray of weird next to me from cleaning off my desk at the other place. Could add more, don't have to. Kind of fun the way it is. Okay. And I'm only going to glue it down here so that it can be a little pocket. These are from like, could even put more in there. We'll just stick that in there for now. But these are like, were with all of this big box of stamp stuff that I had. So that's fun. We're gonna use that one on the vintage thing. I think. Unless I got something else I can tuck in there instead of that. But it's fine. Oh, you know what we could tuck in? That would be cute too. I'll tuck in a little leaf. Cute. Cute. Super cute. Okay, this fun friend. I want this to be more vintage looking. So we're gonna use this guy for sure. This we can age up a little bit. Let's do it. So this one I want to be, I definitely want a different feel. So we're gonna go with that. So ground espresso, and let's do this. Instantly, that looks like it came from a much older package. Love it. Okay, so that could go there. Oh, this could be a little pocket too. So let's do it. I'm just gonna glue them down. Okay, I'm gonna do pocket. Oops. Make this a pocket. So we can tuck something fun into the top. So I'm just gonna put that there. Oh, biscuits. You know what I was gonna do? I was gonna ink the edges of this a little bit too. We can still do that. Let's do it. Perfect. Now this friend, we're gonna put on here. And then one more thing. I don't know what. Let's see if we have like another kind of vintagey looking something something. So that is that, I guess. Winning. We could all right. So there we go. So we just did the front sides. You know how, like, that's fun. I probably won't do anything to that. That's also very pretty. So we could decorate the front and back depending on where you're going to put them in our journals. So now you saw like 4 varieties of options for what you can kind of do for these fun little booklets to put into your junk journals, or give us Happy Meal, or give as a little fun gift, or whatever you want to do. Just have fun making them, right? Art with your heart, guys. So there we go. Fun little books. Probably should have pulled out the ones that had the stitching on them so you had some other variation to look at. But there you go. If you have questions, shoot me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. And yeah, art with your heart. Have a great day. Bye.